This podcast is part of the Frederick Podcast Network. Learn more at listenfrederick.com.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Beers in the Lot. Before we get going, let me just remind you about our shop at beersinthelot.com/shop. That's where you can get t-shirts and other merchandise with Beers in the Lot logos on it. Also, check out beersinthelot.com for anything else you might be curious about this podcast. And be sure to join the Discord at beersinthelot.com/discord. So, for episode 196, Daniel and Riggs and I talked about the playoffs, Cats and Bruins, and what is goalie interference. We talked about the Canes and the Rangers, and a little bit about the West as well. And we talked about the best overtime rules in sports. And that, of course, is the NHL overtime rules in the playoffs. So let's get to it and crack the beers. What you got tonight, Riggs? What are you drinking?
From Hershey, Pennsylvania, Trogs Brewery, I have a Graffiti Highway. I have learned that Graffiti Highway is now a year-round beer for Trogs.
It should be.
So it is now the house beer.
Nice. New house beer selected.
Yes.
Good
Locked
stuff.
Locked in. Danny, what do you have?
So tonight I have a beer, and inside is a fine Pilsner brewed with the highest quality ingredients. A Miller Lite.
Changing it up.
Yeah, taking it light,
Taking it light
I think I
tonight.
gotta do some blood work and stuff, so,
Oh, yeah.
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 That whole thing.
Yep. I know how that goes.
And what do you have tonight, Aaron?
I have from a brewery that it has over 600 years of brewing heritage in Belgium, but actually brewed in St. Louis. A premium lager beer, a Stella Artois.
Oh. Straight out of the bottle? Oh, yep.
From the bottle.
You
of
didn't bring the
course,
knife
yes.
to cut the head off the top of it?
No, I did not bring the bottle knife. Or the
saber.
whatever the thing is that they heat them up. Yeah.
Mhm.
That would be fun. Doing that with beer bottles. The thing where they like heat up the circle around the top of it so that you don't get any, like they do this for wine, obviously. So you don't get any cork inside by pulling the cork out,
Yeah.
Do it on really, really old vintages.
You got to be careful when you pull your cork out.
You do. You have to be careful. It's true.
You
It's
do.
true.
You do.
So hockey.
Yep.
Some of that is happening. Didn't happen for us last night. Had Mother's Day off, which is great for the mothers.
Not for the fathers.
Not so much for the hockey players, I guess. But it got to be like, what was it? It was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I was like, getting my gear together and everything. And then saw on Discord, Gooner posted, "What? There's no games tonight?" And I was like, "What? There's no games tonight?" Like I was ready.
Because
I already confirmed it with the mother, with the mother in my household.
Because we usually play.
We normally do.
All
Yes,
right.
we do.
Yeah, we normally play on Mother's Day, but not this year. It's different.
Not this year. Yeah. We've always
Okay.
said that
I mean-
the best Father's Day gift is to allow OFBGers to play on Mother's Day.
Right? Yeah.
It is a great gift.
By the time Father's Day rolls around, like sometimes, well, I guess we're normally still playing on Father's Day. But
Yeah. Oh yeah.
either way, we didn't get to play yesterday.
I digress.
So I digress. We're watching some playoff hockey and seeing what's going on in the NHL world. But what's on you guys' mind for the NHL playoffs? Anything bones to pick? Any things you want to say?
I'm glad that Coover's up.
Ooh, 2-1.
Yeah. I like that. And I like Brock Besser getting the hat trick in the first period last night. That was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Natural.
I love
Hattie.
Brock Besser. Yeah.
So cool. And he's, he had some issues for a couple seasons. I don't want to say that Rick Tocchet helped him, but you know, Brock Besser has figured it out, and he's a big contributor now. And so is Nikita Zadorov, who I didn't really like until he got to Vancouver. But that guy's playing out of his mind too.
Where was he originally?
He was in Calgary, and before that, I forget where he was. But like he had some interesting things to say about the Edmonton series, like about Edmonton, the city particularly, that there's nothing going on there, and he doesn't understand why players would want to play there and stuff.
Like, I've said the same thing, actually. I've said that for a while. It's like, I feel like Edmonton is one of the lowest on the list of cities that I'd want to play hockey in. But I don't know. I mean, it's a huge hockey town, and obviously they love their sport. But apart from going to the Oiler games, what else is going on up there?
Yeah,
I think it's a valid question.
So
is
it almost like a big market Johnstown?
Yeah.
That's how it seems like to me.
It's like, oh, what's going on this weekend? Well, there's a Blackhawks game. That's about it.
Or a Tomahawks game.
Oh, Tomahawks, yeah.
But then, at the end of the game on Sunday, he just got, him and Susie just got real physical with McDavid, which was good.
Yeah.
I thought, going into the next couple, but
one of them got suspended.
Susie,
yeah,
Susie
he got
suspended.
his stick up in his mush. But
yeah, I mean,
whoops.
I understand what happened on that play, and I honestly think that cross-checking McDavid in the mouth was an accident. I honestly think it was an accident, but yeah, you got to suspend a guy who cross-checks a guy in the mouth.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't, even if it's an accident, like you can't fucking do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, his teammate comes in and checks McDavid in the back, and he falls forward into the stick of you got to suspend him for that. It's unfortunate timing, I think. I don't think anybody really thinks that Susie did it on purpose, but you gotta hit him with something there.
You
can't cross check the league's biggest star in the mouth and get away. Like, that's not gonna work.
And then what if you cross check someone around the net and you cross check them into the you cross check the defender into the opposing goalie, and then you get the puck and you score? What about that play?
You score a game-winning goal?
Yeah, what about that play?
That's fine. That's fine. You know what? That's fine. It's just a hockey play.
What is goaltender interference even? Like, what is it? What is it? I don't know.
It was what happened on the Lauco. That Lauco one, that was goaltender interference.
That was goaltender interference.
That was goaltender interference. Yes. And it was probably goaltender interference. It was definitely goaltender interference when Bennett did it too. Yes, absolutely. Like, that should have been called, but
I thought it was always called that way, that if you knocked the defenseman into the goaltender, that it was like automatic.
The same as running a goalie. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and he extends his arms, he pushes, I don't know which defenseman it was, but pushes him into Swayman, and gets the puck and taps it in. Like,
yeah. I don't know how that counts, but it couldn't have happened to a better team.
Look, I'm not complaining about the result. I want clarification on the rules. That's what.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like, why are they not calling that, especially in a situation where the game is like on that play? Like, with that, if that penalty is called as it should have been, then the game's probably different. But who knows? There's a decent chance that Boston obviously has a chance to win that game if that's called. So yeah. I mean, I'm happy they didn't win that game.
Right.
That helps me with my call of Cats in 5. But and everybody, I think, who's not a Boston fan kind of agrees. Like, you know what? It's okay when that happens to Boston once in a while.
Well, and
But
like right,
you
in
don't want it to happen at all. But
in the bigger picture, right? In the bigger picture, Florida is out Bostoning Boston.
yes,
Like they're out
out
Bruinsing them.
Boston, Boston.
Like,
Yep.
they're
I like
they're
that.
like they're in their face, super physical, borderline goaltender interference, like all kinds of shit's
Yep.
going on. They're fight. I mean, Sam Bennett, knocked Marchand out.
Yeah, I was
with
going
the-
to say Marchand
with
was
the
out.
right hook from behind. Which
with the right
which-
hook. Yeah.
I mean, he punched him, but
Yeah.
I still say, and I said it on Discord, I still say, if you watch it, watch what Marchand is doing before he gets punched in the mouth. Like he is coming, he is coming after Bennett, and he leaves his feet. And then Sam Bennett's like, I'm going to counter this.
He's like, nah.
And he just punches him. Like, okay,
Gets him back.
So, two wrongs, right? But,
Sure.
I'm saying is,
Couldn't happen to a
like-
better person.
right.
Yeah. How many of those has Marchand gotten away with?
And that's the thing.
it
Is
happens to him. Yeah, it's
the tables have turned, right? And now everybody,
Yes.
all the Bruins people are complaining, and Jim Montgomery's crying at all the press conferences. Like, get over it. Your team has been known for this forever.
yes.
And now you're
Just
going to
got
lose a
done
series.
doing it to Toronto, in fact. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, not that Toronto was going to win that either. I mean, who knows? Maybe they
Right.
would have, but
Well, let's
still.
not.
we won't go there. But
Let's not.
the Bruins literally, like, this is what they do. This is how they play. The fans like the way that they play. The fans want
Yes.
them to play that way. And now and then they come up against a team that does back to them, and they hate it. They're the embodiment of Milan Lucic's career. He can throw
Yes.
huge hits
Yes.
all day, and it's fine. But as soon as somebody hits him with a clean, good hit, he has to, just lose his entire shit.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. So it's only fitting that, a Boston player, kind of embodies the entire mentality, or previously a former Boston player.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, I'm happy that the Cats are winning. I hope they finish out the 4-1 sweep. John calls it a gentleman's sweep. I don't think it's a gentleman's sweep when you do 4 in a row. It's still sweep.
Well, no,
It's
because
just
you
they
let-
lost the one to begin with.
Yeah, you let the team win a game, and they get a home game, at least one.
Yeah.
So then their fans get to see them, and they get the gate revenue and whatever. So gentleman's
Yeah.
sweep.
I suppose. I still think if you win 4 in a row, then it's like, okay, we're done with you, and now we're gonna just destroy you. But it doesn't seem very gentlemanly when you lose the first game and then go with the next 4. But either way,
Well, we'll see what happens.
anyway, yeah, we'll see. And Carolina's making a series out of it.
Yep.
Yeah. By the way,
I
John's
want to
not
see that go to
here.
Game 7.
John's not here, and he was on Discord talking shit, and then all of a sudden the Canes scored like 3 unanswered goals or whatever it was, including an empty netter. So good job.
Way to go, John. You ruined it.
I will say, like, the numbers wise, Carolina and New York are very close, and in most cases, from a getting the puck to the other team's net standpoint, Carolina is outplaying the Rangers. The Rangers are capitalizing on their chances at a greater rate, but Carolina is generating more. So, the longer the series goes, not
The more it
notwithstanding,
favors
right?
Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah.
True. However, they're producing more like shots on goal and all that, but they're also shots on Shesterkin. And
Yeah.
there's something to be said for how he's playing. If you're generating more shots on goal against the goalie with a higher, save percentage, then
Yeah.
you have to beat the save percentage
Absolutely.
with your percentages. So
absolutely.
But yes, on a longer timeline. If this goes to 7, then it probably does favor the Canes, honestly. But remains to be seen.
We'll see. The Rangers need to get Panarin going. He really hasn't done much in this series. Like he looks bad. So I don't know if something's going on with him, but he looks off and he's not producing. So they need to get him going. That should open some things up, but we'll see. They're going to lose the matchups going back to Carolina, though. They're not going to have last change. So game 6 will be interesting.
Interesting, yes. Interesting numbers, though. Yeah, the Rangers dominating on the faceoffs. 66% faceoff wins.
Yes.
That's actually a big deal.
Yes.
That's
it is.
Gaining possession, at least in game 5 anyway. Actually, the Hurricanes have been dominating faceoffs except for game 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hurricanes with the better safe or faceoff percentage in every game except for game 5. But they couldn't get possession off the faceoff, but it didn't matter. They still outshot and outscored the Rangers in game 5. So
yeah, there've been very few moments in the series where they've been even on the shot clock. And then when you look at the underlying numbers, Carolina has an edge. They definitely have the puck more. They just don't capitalize as often. So when New York does get the puck and they do get high danger chances, like they're going in. So, and their power play is much better.
Yeah, I was about to say their special teams. Apparently,
power play is much better.
Shorthanded, they're still dangerous. Jacob Trouba puts in his first of the playoffs, shorthanded tonight, in a losing effort, but still.
Yeah, he elbowed it into the net.
I'm sure he elbowed it into the net.
I mean, look, I don't like. We went over this. I don't like that guy. I don't like Lavi. There's a few other guys on New York that I don't like, but there's way more players and the coach that I don't like on Carolina. So,
that's where we stand there.
That's where we are.
Time out for just a second while we hear about our sponsors. We'll be right back. Pure Hockey has the best hockey equipment, accessories, and apparel on the market to take your game to the next level. Maybe it's time to ditch that old stick and start the year with a fresh twig. Maybe it's time to refresh your NHL wardrobe for the race to the playoffs. Pure Hockey has it all. Whether it's training aids, the latest sticks and skates, or your favorite team's gear, get your hockey shopping done at Pure Hockey and use our affiliate link at beersintheLot.com/Pure Hockey. I'm going to go out west, though, and talk about Avalanche and Dallas.
Yep, they're playing.
I haven't actually gotten to watch much of that series.
Turn it on.
Yeah, it's on right now.
It's on right now.
Yeah, I've watched the games, but I haven't really followed it as closely as the other series because I kind of feel like it's Dallas's series, so I'm not really into it. Like the others, it could kind of, even though, okay, Rangers Canes was 3-1, it's 3-2. I still think it's New York series, but it's close. It's super close. Like,
right.
Vancouver, Edmonton, those teams, it's like, sometimes they want to win the games in the series and sometimes they don't. Like it goes back and forth. It's like the traditional, one team pushes for like 5 minutes in a game and then the next, 5 minutes the other team's pushing, which is kind of interesting to watch. And then it has McDavid, right? And then again, like Besser was going off. Besser was going off last night and everything. But like Dallas, Colorado, I don't know. It's just I haven't I've had the games on, but I haven't been actively watching it.
Just by the numbers, it looks like Colorado's playing much more physical and is actually leading with shots on goal. Except for, it looks like game 2, the Stars edged them by 1 shot on goal. But still, like, looks like Avalanche probably should be winning this series. So, it remains to be seen there, I guess. I'm a fan of McCarr and McKinnon. I want to see those guys do well.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
You know, McKinnon's got 3 goals, and McCarr's got 9 assists. Like, these guys they're great. I want to see them do well, but again, the Dallas teams, they're potent. Like, they didn't get to where they are by being mediocre or bad. That's for sure. So
Colorado's,
it's an interesting one.
I'm on natural stat trick right now. Colorado's basically dominating all of the even strength possession numbers. Like, it's 57%, 56%, 60% expected goals. Like, they're dominating the underlying numbers. Their even strength save percentage, though, is 2 points less than Dallas, but they're still at a 90, a 905. Dallas is getting 926 out of Ottinger. And Dallas's shooting percentage is at a 9.4 to Colorado's 7.3 at 5v5. So, Colorado's got the puck, but it's not going in.
Yeah, I'm looking at that heat map too. They got the puck all around the paint.
Yeah.
Like, I just pulled up the same site. They are all over the goal. Like, they are, man, that heat map is very, very hot right around the goal.
So, they might be getting goalied here.
Interesting. Yeah, they might be. Anyway, we'll see what happens there.
I want Dallas to win. I picked them to win.
You want Dallas to win? Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Well,
I picked them to
then.
win.
Yeah.
I picked them to go face Vancouver in the conference final, and then Vancouver would win. So,
yeah. I mean, I'll say I'm all about the idea of the '94 repeat. I want to see Vancouver and the Rangers.
Yes,
I absolutely want to see that. That would be so sick. So many storylines. All the players from those teams would come out of the woodwork and they'd be seen in the stands. Here's Brian Leach in the box at Madison Square Garden, and so on and so forth. Somebody would talk about Pavel Bure for the first time in 10 years, which is it's ridiculous. That guy was so good. I feel like nobody ever talks about him.
He was ahead of his time.
He was so fast. He was probably a similar analog to McDavid's style of play at the time. Just because he was so fast, everybody knew that he was the fastest guy in the league. There was no question. And man, did it show, because he'd get the puck, he was just gone. He would just walk defensemen like nothing, just fly around him. I'll never forget '94 that break, or the penalty shot that he had. It was game 6, I think, against the Rangers, and Richter stopped him. And oh man, it was that was a wild series. And that if that series repeated in 2024, 30 years later, man, that would be such a series. That'd be so awesome.
We need Dallas to win so Stank Oven can be on the cup.
Stank Oven. Stanky Oven.
Stank Oven.
Well, we got oven chicken on there already. Just one letter away from, or 2 letters away, right? From oven chicken. Why not a stank oven too, right?
That's so good.
So weird. Oh man. All right. Anyway, what else we got? Do we want to talk about anything else that's going on? Is there anything going on?
I mean, no.
No. It's like the playoffs. And then
Right. And we're at the part of the playoffs where like there's only, what is it, 8 teams? There's only
yeah,
eight
there's only 8 teams
teams
left.
And
So it's kind of like, okay, once their series are done, then we'll talk about that and what the next matchup is. But in the middle of it, it's like, oh yeah, that guy did that. He like scored a goal when it probably should have been a penalty. And then
well, and then,
oh, this guy cross-checked somebody in the mouth and it was an accident, but you know,
it's like the slow death of the season too, right? Because in a couple days here, teams are going to start getting eliminated and series are going to be over. And because of travel days or whatever for the other games, there might not be hockey on TV.
Yeah, right.
Right. So
it makes me sad.
It's like, cool, we got 2 games a night right now, but it's gonna get to the point where we're waiting in between games, and like you said, slow death of the season. And of course, we're getting all the other stuff now. It's like, oh, they've got the draft order out and all this stuff. We could mention that. It's like, oh, San Jose is going to draft first and get celebrating. Good for them. Yay.
Who cares?
So we've covered that. And
how about the Hershey Bears advancing past the Lehigh Valley Phantoms? They will now be facing the Hartford Wolfpack in the Atlantic Division Final in the Calder Cup Playoffs.
They're making a run like they always do. They're always good. Bears are always good.
Are you going to try to go up and catch a game?
I am trying to go. I can't go this weekend because the kids have spring hockey tournament. So I'm not going this weekend. And the next weekend, I'm out of town. I will actually be about an hour away from Hershey. Not even an hour away, like 45 minutes away. But Hershey will be playing in Hartford that night. So
damn.
I won't be able to get. So I'm waiting for the conference final for Hershey Bears. So they need to advance. They need to defeat the Hartford Wolfpack so that I can go to some Calder Cup playoff games and cheer on the Bears. BEARS. Awesome. Bears.
Oh yeah.
I went it was, I think, the year that Willie Nylander got drafted, maybe his second year he was pro. He was playing for the Marlies, and I want to say it was game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals in the AHL, and I went to the game in Hershey, and it went to double OT, big boy OT. It was awesome, because it's like I'm there with my wife and my son. It goes to OT, and they're like, "Oh, it's full periods." I'm like, "Yeah, it's full periods." And then it goes to the double OT, and then Hershey won that game. And then I think they lost the series because I think it was the year that the Marlies won the Calder Cup. But it was cool. Like,
do they keep selling beer through the OT?
No, they do not. It's the same rules. They cut it off. Puck drop, beginning of the third period. No more beers.
No more fun.
Somebody got me on TikTok. I was watching TikToks the other day, and I came across one, and this guy said, "You'll not believe the NHL." Or no, let's talk about overtime ruls in sports.
Oh,
the NHL has the best overtime rules.
Yeah.
And it was like the 8th overtime they dropped the second puck. It's like, immediately I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck? No, there's no way they do that. And then it was like, and in the 9th overtime, they dropped 10 pucks. Yeah. And then in the 10th overtime, there's a red sealed envelope in whatever, NHL headquarters. They unseal the envelope and nobody's seen what it is. And it's like, okay, all right, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Like when they was talking about the second puck, I was like, what the fuck? Like it's like the stupid thing that everybody thinks would be so fun. But no, that's dumb as shit.
No. I watched it to that point, and then I stopped watching it. Like, I was like, whatever.
It had me going for a minute. He had me going at the second puck thing. I was like, I really don't believe this is how the rules go, but I haven't actually looked. So fuck if I know. That could be correct. It's 8 overtimes. Like we haven't gone to 6 in like, I don't know, like 30 or 40 years.
And
or
you're immediately going to search up NHL rulebook.
Yeah, and then I was like,
yeah.
By the time he got to the point of, we dropped 10 pucks in the ninth overtime, I was like, no, get the fuck out. Guys, no way. But But for real though, NHL absolutely has the best overtime rules, like golden goal and fucking play until somebody scores. It doesn't get any better than that. All this bullshit, like, we're gonna do 2 periods and like somebody has to they orchestrate the game so that what was it, college football or NFL football basically amounted to a coin toss.
They both
what
do
the hell is that?
They both do it now where everybody gets a possession or whatever, unless you score. Like if you score a touchdown, and it's over. But then if you don't, the other team gets the ball or whatever it is. I don't know. Like I don't pay attention to football because it's stupid,
silly.
You want to talk about like we were complaining about goaltender interference or whatever earlier. You want to talk about contrived rules? Look no further than professional football and college football. Like it's
they just make random shit up.
Just legislate the game.
Yeah, right. They literally do though. Like there's literally bills in Congress that are like mandating a national championship for college football. Like what the fuck? One, all right, without getting too political.
Whoa. Rule number 1.
Easy, toes line.
Still,
rule
regardless.
Number 1.
Anyway. It gets so silly, but whatever. NHL is the best overtime, without a doubt.
Yes. Well, it's the purest way to decide the games. Like,
doesn't get any more fair than that.
We're going to keep playing the same way that we played the rest of this game until it's over. Like that's what we're doing.
Right. The only thing that actually comes into play, like the whole when they get to X number of overtimes and they do something different, the only thing that ever comes into play is like, it's 4 a.m. I want to go home. Like when it gets to a certain point, they'll say, all right, we're going to stop here for now so that everybody can go to sleep for a little while. We'll pick up the game tomorrow. Like that's the only, and I think that's happened like once. And wouldn't you know it, when they picked the game back up, somebody scored in like 5 minutes. I don't know if that's like specifically true, but it's something like that. Like they had to postpone because there was an event happening at that arena in like the next like 6 hours or something. So they needed to break down and get it ready. And when they did start playing the rest of the game, it was fast.
I just remember multiple times staying up, well past 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning. When I was in middle and high school, like watching games, and then going to school the next day like a zombie, more so than normal.
Yeah, right. I feel like that era of when the goalies when it seemed like it was harder to score, when scoring was down or whatever.
Yeah.
Then those overtimes, man, they went 5-6 over. I feel like,
oh my god,
that's when I feel like I saw Jersey in an overtime that went to like 4 or 5 or something. And stayed up until
Washington and Pittsburgh. There was
I remember the Pittsburgh and Philly when Wayne Primo scored. It was like 4:00 in the morning.
Keith Primo.
God,
one of the Primos.
Yeah, I think it was
one of them Primos.
It was Wayne.
Wayne, I want to say there was a San Jose Detroit series in there that had a game that went 2-3 overtimes. That was pivotal. It was like a historical moment for San Jose. Like,
right.
There was all that stuff was going. But like you said, scoring was down. It was harder to score. The goalies were putting roof shingles attached to their chest protectors to make their shoulders bigger and shit. Like there was a lot of stuff going on with equipment to make it harder to score.
Yes, those 5 overtimes. Keith Primo, fucker.
Jeez,
Hate that guy. I was so pissed. I went to bed. Woke up like you said. It was like a few hours later, and went to fucking school.
Yeah, it's like you watch that whole thing. You watch 5 overtimes or whatever it is. Like, it's you've watched 2 full games plus.
I don't think I could do it nowadays.
You're invested in 8 hours of hockey broadcast watching, and then your team loses. Like that has to be the worst. As like,
oh yeah, definitely.
I can confirm it sucked.
Yeah, I can't confirm.
Oh yeah.
All right, that's it for this one. Thank you for your listen and for your support. We appreciate all of your likes and ratings and reviews and subscriptions on the various podcatchers. Keep them coming. We appreciate every single one of them. I know I speak for the rest of the guys when I say have a good one, and we'll catch you next week when our new episode drops on Wednesday. See ya.